Hi everyone, welcome to the Virtual College Exploration for all Illinois students, sponsored by the Illinois Association for College Admission Counseling and StriveScan. Thanks for joining us today. We have a few housekeeping announcements before we get started. The first is you can use the Q&A button on your screen anytime to type questions to the presenters. Your camera and your microphone are turned off so the panelists can't see or hear you. And this is just one of many different sessions that are happening, so be sure to check out the full schedule at IACAC.org. Additionally, this is recording and the presentation will be available, the recording will be available in a week at that same website at IACAC.org. Now I'd like to turn it over to our presenters. Thanks.
All right, hello everyone. I'm going to share my screen with you and then we will get started. Okay. All right, are we good everyone? We see it? Thanks team, okay. All right, hello and welcome. Today our presentation is called Mirror, Mirror on the Wall, Who's the Greatest Candidate of All? We chose this theme because we are encouraging students to take a look in the mirror and reflect on yourselves as students and future college students. So you might be asking, why is this important? We want to help you prepare for being the best applicant that you can be. We don't want you to try and compare yourself to anyone else. Every student is different and every school is different, and that's a good thing. So we want you to present your best self, and which provides you with the most opportunities to the most schools. All schools want well-rounded applicants, and there is more to being a great applicant than just test scores and a GPA. So we are here to give you some basic tips on what we look for as your admissions counselor and also as your application readers, and for being the best version of you. Remember to leave any questions you have in the chat, and we'll be sure to answer those at the end. But first, let's introduce ourselves.
Hi, everybody. I'm Lisa Winker. I'm the Chicago Regional Admission Coordinator for Indiana State University. Indiana State is located in the city of Terre Haute, Indiana, which is just about 3 hours south of the city of Chicago. Our campus is located at that northern part of the city with 435 acres of lush, sustainable landscape. And we're a smaller mid-sized institution with a current enrollment of just under 11,000 students. To apply for admission, we are not part of the Common App, so go to our website and click that apply button. We are test optional for general admission. Our average incoming freshman student has a 21 ACT, a 1080 SAT, and an average cumulative GPA of a 3.3. So students from Illinois who are unconditionally admitted will qualify for our Midwest Consortium cost of $11,942. Students who have a 3.0 or higher will automatically qualify for our Illinois Achievement Scholarship of $2,000, which will bring you really close to that in-state cost. Our other automatic merit awards begin at the GPA of a 3.25. Our top 5 popular majors are business, education, we are a teaching college, criminal justice and criminology, our pre-professional and health sciences, and engineering. We are also a research institution. We offer 15 NCAA Division I athletics, and we are part of the Missouri Valley Conference. Go Sycamores.
Hi everyone, my name is Allison Culver and I am the representative with the University of Louisville. We are located in Louisville, Kentucky, which is about a 4.5-hour drive or a 45-minute flight from Chicagoland. Our total enrollment is about 20,000 students, but we are a mid-sized school because we have only 12,000 undergraduate students. Our average incoming ACT is between a 25 and 26, with ACT landing between a 1,200 and a 1,250, although this year we are test score optional for our incoming applicants. Our average GPA is above a 3.6, and our total cost with tuition, room and board meal plan, and student fees comes out around $38,000, and that does not include our automatic Chicago Regional Awards that start at $10,000 and go up to $16,000 right off the bat. Our most popular majors include business, nursing, and engineering. Those are our flagship programs, but we also have our biology and pre-med, our pre-law and pre-dental, as well as our nationally ranked sports administration program. We are an NCAA Division I institution in the Atlantic Coast Conference, so go Cards.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah Murnane, Assistant Director of Admission at the College of St. Benedict and St. John's University. St. Ben's and St. John's form a unique partnership. It's one of a kind. We're located about an hour northwest of Minneapolis-St. Paul. We have 3,500 students, and our average ACT ranges between 23 and 28. Our average GPA is between 3.3 and 3.8. Our tuition, room, and board has a higher sticker price of about $60,000, but we have merit-based scholarships that go up to $32,000, as well as fine art scholarships that go up to $5,000. Top majors include global business, nursing, education, accounting, finance, and exercise and health science. For athletics, we're NCAA Division III, and fun fact, 92% of our students graduate in 4 years.
Hi guys, thanks for joining today. My name is Sarah McLean Nelson, and I am the Regional Admissions Counselor for Northern Michigan University. Northern is located in Marquette, Michigan, which is in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. That's about 6.5 hours away from Chicago area, but we're a mid-sized school, just under 8,000 students. Our average student is coming in with a 22 ACT or an 1100 SAT. And with a 3.2 GPA. Our total cost for tuition, which includes a laptop, and that's all your classes, for a year for out of state, that's $17,200. And room and board, which includes your food, dorm, laundry, Wi-Fi, and cable, is $11,000. If you're a student that has a minimum of a 2.25 GPA, you may be eligible for scholarships, automatic scholarships that brings your cost from out-of-state tuition towards in-state tuition. Some of our top majors are arts and design, nursing, criminal justice, business, and forensic anthropology. We're a Division II with all of our sports except for men's ice hockey, which is Division I, and I bet you're not surprised by that.
All right, so we'll kick things off by first looking at the transcript. The first point is the GPA, as I'm sure you all know very well. Each school may review GPAs differently. For example, at Louisville, we will consider only the weighted GPA, where some other schools may look at your unweighted or a core GPA. A core GPA includes only core courses like English, math, science, etc., and they will recalculate it to make a new GPA. Your unweighted will include the weight of your weighted GPA will include the weight of your honors and AP courses, and your unweighted is an average of your grades at face value. Grade trend is next, which is important when looking at a transcript. I have an example on the right of a positive grade trend. You can see the first list of grades as mostly D's and C's with a couple B's. This isn't a very strong showing, but in the next semester, we are seeing mostly B's and A's. This is an upward or positive trend that we're looking for. If your grades are trending down, it may be time to talk to your counselor and change either the level of rigor or to make sure you're taking the right amount of difficult courses so your GPA doesn't suffer. Just as I mentioned, the next is rigor. This is the level of classes and the difficulty of schedule that you've taken. It includes a number of advanced classes like honors, AP, IB, dual credit, and college level courses as well. Attendance is something else that we consider, as you can see on the right. This student had a 2.5 absences in the first semester, but 16.5 in the second. When we're reading this, we may pause and ask, why is a student missing so much school? Were they sick? Were they lazy? Perhaps we may ask for a personal statement, or we may talk to your counselor to learn more about why so much school was missed. As your senior year approaches, make sure you know that your senior year matters. Do not come down with a case of senioritis. We see this all the time. We are looking at your courses in progress when you apply. We also may ask for first semester senior year grades if, like I mentioned before, your grades are trending down, or we want to make sure you're staying on track with your positive trend during your senior year. Some students think once they apply or get admitted, they can glide through senior year. However, if you were admitted to a school based on your solid GPA, your good grade trend, your good attendance, your high rigor, but then all of a sudden you change your courses to add things like study hall or early release instead of a core course, your GPA drops and you start skipping school, your offer of admission can be at risk of being rescinded or removed. So make sure you are presenting your best self until you graduate, not just until you apply. Use your school's profile to help us make decisions as well. So if you're ever wondering how we know what your school's college going percentage is, or how many honors and AP classes you had the opportunity to take, is all listed on your high school's profile. So before passing it off to Sarah and essays, I'll share my Snow White joke to go with the theme of our presentation. So guys, why would Snow White make a good admission counselor? Because she's the fairest of them all. Okay, here's Sarah.
Mirror, mirror in my hand, will this help me understand? Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I was just reading through some college essays here. So I guess now is the perfect time to discuss the college essay with you. So I'm a former high school English teacher, and I know that the mere thought of writing a college essay can cause fear and sleepless nights. Here are some tips to make essay writing a little less stressful. It is so important, and you'll hear this over and over again from all of us, to follow the instructions specific to each college you are applying to. Each college and university have their own set of requirements, and they want to make sure that you are doing your research and submitting the materials they ask you to submit. When it comes to your essay, make certain to note these things. So first, is an essay required? Is the essay an institutional specific essay? Is there a writing prompt that they've given you? Is the essay optional? Or is there a request for absolutely no essay at all? It is so important that you follow instructions. When the invitation to submit an essay is optional, consider if you have gaps in your application. Would your application benefit from an essay that could fill in some of these gaps and paint a better picture of you as both an individual and a student? I always recommend going through a process in your essay writing. So admission counselors, like all of us, want to make sure that you are writing at a college level. Make certain in your essay that you write, edit, and rewrite. Have a trusted adult or peer proofread your essay. Read your essay out loud, because that is such a great way to catch errors and typos. So every year, the four of us and all admissions counselors across the land receive essays that in the final paragraph say something along the lines of, and that is why I want to be a university of, fill in the blank, eagle or other such mascot, and the university they have named is not our school. Don't make this mistake. Proofread and then proofread again. Some things to avoid include merely providing a list of your accomplishments or a general overview of, say, like a volunteer trip, or one of the most common essay types, how I overcame my athletic injury or ACL tear. In fact, some of the most common essays we get are titled things like baseball is life, hockey is life, dance is life, etc. Now, I have a feeling that this year there are going to be a lot of essays titled How COVID Changed My Senior Year. And that's okay. But if you go this route, make sure your essay is specific. Build a connection with your audience. Did a particular instance or person impact your experience? What did you learn? Think small. One of my favorite essays was from a student who worked part-time as a server in a restaurant. And she wrote about a group of retired gentlemen who visited the restaurant every week. The student touched on the things her interactions with the gentleman had taught her, and I learned so much about her as an individual. She was observant, she was respectful, and she was compassionate. So remember, you do not have to have traveled around the world or discovered a cure for cancer in order to produce a great essay. Take a deep breath, get out your pen and paper, and just go for it. And remember, think small, provide details, and use your words to paint a picture. And now, before I pass it on, here's my Snow White joke. Why does Snow White hate Twitter?
Why?
She only has 7 followers.
Well, wait, should I or shouldn't I? This is kind of Snow White supplemental materials. That brings us to the next slide. supplemental materials. So as you're preparing to apply to colleges, you're likely focused on writing those required essays that Sarah just talked about, obtaining glowing letters of recommendations, crafting incredible descriptions of your extracurricular activities, and sending out those test scores, or maybe. However, there are other things that you might not be sure of if you should submit, like supplemental materials. So what exactly are supplementary materials? They are additional content that's not necessarily required by colleges, but provides information that you feel is either necessary or will greatly benefit your overall application. So make sure to ask yourself, is it worth to supplement? Colleges review thousands upon thousands of documents that are submitted by students every year and every admission cycle. You need to figure out whether or not you should submit the supplement at all. And if so, what kinds of supplementary materials can you and should you send? First, there's no guarantee that supplementary materials will even be reviewed because some items are not a required part of the application. Schools receiving applications from tens of thousands and thousands are already poring over hundreds of thousands of required documents, right? Each and every school requirement about what may be sent and the format it may be sent in is going to be different. Make sure you follow those instructions. Understand the institution policies on extra materials. Not following instructions may result in your materials not being evaluated at all and could possibly aggravate admissions committees, which is not a good thing. Also, know who will be doing the reviewing of your application. You can always ask to find out. Is it data processing department? Is it the admissions or scholarship committee? Is it an individual counselor? They all view supplemental materials differently. With that being said, you may be wondering what exactly you should submit. So when in doubt, ask your high school, college counselor, or your admissions counselor. By the way, contacting your admissions counselor at some institutions may also show demonstrated interest. And for those of you who don't know what demonstrated interest is, it's the degree in which you show a college that you're highly and sincerely interested in coming to their school. Some colleges gauge your interest through fairly ordinary behaviors, such as making an official campus visit, attending a college fair, or attending an admission presentation like this one, completing an inquiry card, contacting your admissions counselor, reading those emails that come to you from the college, and also the texts, and even clicking on those links within those communications, as well as applying for admission. When you're submitting essays, make sure that the content is relevant. Just like Sarah mentioned, make sure that you have a few people read your essay so that they can edit. Letters of recommendation should come from a source who has seen you in an academic setting. Well, we all know that your parents love you, but they should not be writing your letters of recommendation. And really, either should your coach, unless, say, they had you as a student in an academic setting. It's always good to find about 3 people who can speak about your academics and your strengths or struggles and what you've learned from them and what you've had to overcome. It's also a really great idea to build and write a student resume. A student resume is a summary of your studies, your academic qualifications, and your greatest achievements. This is a way to help you stand apart from other applicants. It's one of the most important marketing tools that you can make yourself to make yourself shine. Essentially, your resume provides a snapshot of the real you, your interests, your passion, your achievements, contributions both in and out of the classroom. So include extracurricular activities, include things like community service, clubs, activities, honors, athletics, jobs, and even internships. Well, the other thing you might want to keep in mind are very specific guidelines when it comes to skill-based submissions. When submitting music, video, and film supplements, it varies greatly by school. For instance, some schools require students submitting an art supplement turn in their entire application before the normal due date. Other schools have detailed instructions on the form, on either the form, the length, or content of these kinds of supplements. So you should always pay attention to the school's guidelines and follow those instructions very closely. Also, understand that your submissions most likely won't be returned, so make copies. For athletics, you might want to be considered to be recruited, but if you haven't already been contacted, make sure you reach out early. Most institutions will be contacting you, but if you feel that you have a talent or a great fit for their organization, first go onto their athletic website, find the sport that you want to participate in, and then complete the questionnaire that's on that website. When you submit that form, it usually goes right to the member of a coaching staff. So be sure to include coaching contacts, any accomplishments, and video links such as Huddle. If coaching staff feels that you would be a great fit for their team, they're going to reach out to you. So don't continually reach out to them. So that leads me to my little Snow White joke. Why did Snow White buy an Android phone? Well, because she thought the apple was poisoned.
All right, guys, it's my turn. I'm Sarah. I'm the other Sarah. So I'll go over do's and don'ts of admissions etiquette. So starting off with the do list, be sure to introduce yourself and introduce yourself to whomever the admissions counselor would be. So in this case, you know, somebody just like myself, Lisa, Sarah, or Allison, who is the representative in the area for your school. And it could be, you know, a quick email, a quick phone call. You can even send a quick text if you wanted to, depending on how that counselor wants to be reached out to. Or, you know, if you happen to see them at a college fair or some kind of virtual event, you know, that's a great opportunity for you to take advantage of for an introduction. Have a professional email address. If the last time you created an email address, say it was like when you were in 5th grade or 6th grade, something like that, chances are it might be something like littleswagger8@yahoo.com or gmail.com or something like that. And it was probably really cool and cute when you were in 5th or 6th grade, but you know, it's time for it to change and come up with something a little bit more professional. Could be just like Smith, you know, 123@gmail.com. Or if you wanted to make it something more college specific, it could be Smith collegeemail@gmail.com, for example, or something like that. Check for spelling and grammatical mistakes. If you happen to send an email, you know, definitely make sure you review that. And like what Sarah mentioned earlier, be sure to read these emails out loud. Sometimes that's the best way to catch some of these grammatical errors or spelling errors, you know, things like that. If you happen to communicate with the college counselor via text, I know with texting, you know, we have all these abbreviations and things like that, but simply because you're communicating via text, don't type out the letter, don't type U, the letter U, you know, type out the whole YOU. When it comes to social media, be sure to check your social media. Do not post any crazy stuff out there. You know, if you wouldn't want your parents to see it or your grandma to see it, do not post it. You'd be surprised how many colleges actually are looking into students' online profiles, whether if it's for admissions or for scholarships, especially if you're looking into, you know, some high scholarships, or if you're looking into being considered for like a fellowship program or athletics. You know, this is definitely something that's getting looked into. And once it's out there, even if it gets deleted, someone took a screenshot somewhere. So try and avoid that whole social media thing. And then lastly, for the do list, be sure to write a thank you letter. Whether if it's, you know, thank you to the admissions counselor or thank you to someone that wrote a letter of recommendation for you. Keep in mind, whoever does this for you, they're taking time out of their own personal schedule to write a letter of recommendation for you. So be sure to thank them for that. It's not an easy task. So, and then as far as the do not list, the don'ts, I'll start off with, do not, if you happen to get like a text from the college office or something like that, do not say things like, new number, who's this? Even though it's a new number, chances are we might be able to track it down and find out exactly, who it is. So don't do that. It's funny, but you don't want to do that. You want to stay away from that. Or respond with inappropriate things. So I know, like, a lot of schools send out texts, and sometimes students reply, F you, do not email me again, or do not text me again. Like, do not do that. Whether you are planning on coming to my institution or not, it reflects very badly on you, and you don't want to be in that position. Do not insult other schools. So let's say if you're planning to coming to Northern Michigan, but you say, oh, that person from Indiana State, she was a crazy counselor, you would not believe, blah, blah, blah. And then you're just bad mouthing, whether if it's the counselor or the institution and the way they do things, you don't want to get yourself caught in that situation again. Do not miss deadlines. This one is very important. You would be surprised how often students come to us and say, oh my gosh, the deadline for the scholarship was yesterday. I totally missed it, but I still want an opportunity to apply for it. And to me, that's one of the hardest things to address, because it's completely out of our control. Once the cutoff line is Friday at 5 o'clock and we don't hear from you till Monday, like, that's outside of our hands. So be sure to be proactive about deadlines, come up with some kind of Excel sheet or a reminder on your Google Calendar or something like that to keep you on track. And then lastly, for the don'ts, do not let your parents do this whole admissions process for you. And if we have any parents logged in here, I'm talking to you. Do not take over your student in this case. You'd be surprised how many times we get an email from a parent saying, we will submit the documents, we will fill out the essay. And I always wonder, who is we? Is it the parent and the mouse in the pocket, or is it really the parent and the student, or is it really the student? This is a great time to let the student kind of take over and take ownership of the next steps. High school is kind of wrapping up. They're going off to college, they're adulting now. So make sure, if you're a student, make sure you take ownership over this and take care of the steps on your own. If you have questions, that's why we're here. We'll guide you step by step, and we'll make sure everything gets taken care of for you. And of course, I also do have a Snow White joke, and mine is, why did Snow White hate the evil queen? Because she was a bad apple. That's funny, right?
Very funny.
All right, guys. So thank you guys so much for joining in our presentation. We hope that you've gotten a lot out of it, and we are happy to continue answering any questions that you might have. So if you have any questions for us, please feel free to reach out to us, and we are happy to help you. Again, my name is Allison Culver from the University of Louisville.
I'm Lisa Winker with Indiana State University.
Sarah Murnane with the College of St. Benedict and St. John's University.
And I'm the other Sarah McLean Nelson with Northern Michigan University. Take care and good luck this year.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks
Bye-bye.
so much. Maddie, you want to take us out of here?
Yes, I'm here. Okay, everyone, thank you so much to our presenters for all that awesome information. You were all hilarious with your Snow White jokes. I loved it. Thank you to everyone for joining us today. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey, and we appreciate any feedback you can provide. Also, this was just one of many sessions being hosted, so be sure to sign up for additional sessions at IACAC.org. And then in about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording also at IACAC.org. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great afternoon. Bye.